I am live.
We are live. It is
Yeah.
Monday, March 4th, 2024. Welcome to Left Coast Live. I am your host, Dieter McBusiness, joined as always by the one and only stateless patriot of the Central Valley, California. Has got a big day ahead of it tomorrow, my man. We have
Oh
the
yeah.
Democratic primaries tomorrow
Mhm.
and it's gonna be all kinds of fun.
Yeah.
Um, with nominees like Adam Schiff and Katie Porter and Barbara Lee. You know,
Yeah.
you've been in California a lot longer than I have, so I'd be interested to hear, give our audience just a quick kind of 20 to 30, maybe even going back as far as who was that guy who lost to Clinton in the primary in 92? Brown? Jerry
Yeah,
Brown,
Jerry
right?
Brown. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
he was governor for a couple times actually.
And then he came back and did it again.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember.
Mhm.
But does this state have what it takes politically to really live up to its potential?
You know, I think it really does because in a way California is like ahead of the curve when it comes to a lot of social issues in particular or like we're the hub of so much tech. It really just depends on if a lot of the bureaucracy can get out of the way, because there's a lot of, I guess, corruption, for lack of a better word. There's a lot of insiderism, which plagues the Democratic Party in California. So if that can be done away with, like that'd be great. I actually had a gal over last night who has actually worked on a couple campaigns. So she's worked with Jerry McNerney and a couple of the state senate races, and they're really like they don't like outsiderism like at all. They are very much um, elitist, so to speak. It,
In
it's pretty
Sacramento, you're
gross.
talking about.
Yeah, yeah, the general area, yeah, like this District 5 and like state senate as well. I actually wanted to get her on at some point in the future so she can talk about her experiences with that because she works for multiple different campaigns, including the for Michael Tubbs, the former Stockton mayor. He was kind of notable because he was on the Daily Show and he did the
What was his name?
Michael Tubbs. He did like the five hundred
Oh yeah.
dollar for families in Stockton. It was like a friggin' what's the term, the Andrew Yang thing, like a UBI basically, for select families, and apparently it was like really successful. And yeah, he ended up actually losing his mayoral re-election, but yeah, that's something I can probably get set up just to get more insight on the mechanisms of certain campaigns within the Democratic Party and whatnot. But yeah, what we got here, Schiff is fucking way ahead, of course.
G- Give me some fill. I gotta leave the dog out. Hold on one
No,
second.
you're fine. Yeah, like God, I'm so sick of seeing ads for Adam Schiff. Like he should not be that high, but he just has so much money to throw around. So like, of course, he's going to be pulling ahead of clearly the two better options for the race on the Democratic side. It's disgusting. I'm so tired of Adam Schiff. Like it should
Yeah,
be
a lot of
Barbara
people
Lee.
give him a hard time because he is a failed screenwriter. Now, I will never fault anybody for failing and leaving Hollywood. It's the most unfair business in the entire world. It's the hardest business in the entire world. No
Yeah,
big deal.
except
But
except some
when he
people don't
goes
get
in,
over it, like Ben Shapiro hasn't.
oh, well, that guy's got little man complex like you read about. I'm going to do an
Right.
episode just on him and doing the
Okay.
empathetic arithmetic just on him because I know exactly who that guy is and why
Right.
he is the way that he is.
Yeah.
Harvard Law and like super good at school. but always looking to be a contrarian to try to be
Of
original.
course. Yeah.
And ultimately, too, when you are intelligent, and Ben Shapiro's clearly like above average intelligence, but I'm not willing to admit more than that.
Sure.
But the the most interesting form of intelligence that I think everybody, no matter who you are, is really attracted to is creativity.
Yeah.
And that is why Ben looks up at Hollywood and feels like Barbie is not a good movie, even though Barbie was a fantastic movie.
I thought it was great. I thought it was a really
Instant
well done
classic,
movie.
man.
It
Instant classic.
seriously, yeah. Like people really don't give it enough credit. Like I went and saw it in theaters, and I thought it was fantastic. Honestly, like yeah,
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 they waited. They made. I mean, cheers to Mattel for waiting all those years for the right people and the right script. You know that script was hammered over for about 15 to 20 years, something like that.
probably yeah.
But anyway, yeah, let's do. Hopefully they don't make a sequel. God, I hope they don't make it. Just let it be. Let it be. It's
Right.
good.
I
It
mean,
was a good thing.
you know it's gonna be fucking inevitable though. Like Hollywood is like obsessed with like franchises, so I wouldn't be surprised if they do something again with Barbie. I know that they're making a sequel to like the recent standalone Joker movie that had Joaquin Phoenix in it, and you know
Yeah, but that movie set up well for a sequel.
yeah, for the most part, yeah, I'd agree. So I'm like interested in seeing like where they take it. Apparently, it's going to be like a musical, and so yeah, I mean, it piques my interest. So
Hey, anything more out there from Hollywood? I love the experimentation because
yes,
I'm pretty stale on Hollywood. You know, I mean, just
yeah, yeah,
nothing really gets me excited anymore.
yeah,
When a lot of
experimentation.
show,
Totally
I was
agree.
joking, was joking with my wife how like she's watching stuff all the time, and I'm just on my computer doing research and writing and all
Yeah,
sorts of other stuff politically related. I'm just obsessed because it's an election year, and this is like the biggest. Everybody says this is the biggest election of our lives, but this really is the biggest election of our lives. I mean,
yeah.
it was true. They weren't wrong. They weren't necessarily wrong. Like Bush Gore, up until that point, yeah, that was the biggest election of our time.
It was so
Um,
yeah, it was so consequential, it still gets me the fact that like Gore actually won that, and they just did nothing about it. Like they just let it be. Like they just let Bush actually just. It was the fact that he conceded and they just couldn't do anything about it and whatnot. And just I can't like help think sometimes of just how different our friggin' country would be if Bush had lost. You know.
And there were some campaign mistakes there by Al Gore, let's face it.
Yeah.
Following Clinton, man, that's tough. As far as
Right.
campaign charisma goes, I mean, Clinton was up there with Reagan.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, let's get into California state politics, the exciting
Of course.
subject of the California Senate race. No surprise here. Adam Schiff +5 on his next. Garvey is the Republican. It's so funny how the
Hmm.
Republicans are still like at it. They still have institutional presence in California to the
Yeah.
extent
They
to
do.
this
They do
extent.
have like footholds in like mostly like rural areas.
Yeah, Bakersfield and Fresno are the two major
Yeah.
metropolitan areas. Sacramento's pretty red too.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much. Like it is like because the town I'm near, I'm sort of not exactly in, but I'm kind of near Stockton, and that's like a swing district of sorts. But yeah, in Fresno and Bakersfield, they're fucking dumps. They're gross places, honestly, and nothing. There's really nothing there. No,
It's sad.
mm-hmm.
It's sad that like the rest of that California can't get to that place of everybody really liking each other. Like people in Bakersfield and Fresno, like people in LA and San Francisco are always going to talk shit about those people because whenever
Yeah,
they go there, and then vice versa. It's like the south. It's like the north-south resentment, just on a smaller scale, just on a stateside scale.
exactly.
Um,
Yeah, Yeah,
All
like
right, so
so the
go ahead.
what the consequences of, I mean, like it I I think if for anyone like paying like any like modicum of attention to this race in particular, kind of knew that Schiff would be the one to take Dianne Feinstein's Senate position, even though he doesn't fucking deserve it like at all. So like that's actually a good question right there. What would he do as senator? You know?
I mean, toe the party line. Be
Yeah,
grateful to be, I mean, do
that's
what he's
about
told.
it.
I mean, well, look at a guy like John Ossoff. I mean, I thought that John Ossoff might come into the Democratic Party and become groomed. And because he's very
Yeah.
intelligent, very well spoken. He was obviously in the system early because they ran him in the House in that special election back in like 2015 or something like that. I
Hmm.
can't remember. Anyway, he lost that, won the Senate, and now he's just like he reminds me a lot of that Arizona guy who's this astronaut, where they're just so glad to be
Mark Kelly.
accepted. Yeah, Mark Kelly. They're so glad to be accepted and have this status in our society, but they
Yeah.
don't really know what to do with it. Like none of them went to Harvard
Yeah.
Kennedy School of Government. Like none of them went to a law school. And by the way, I do think there should be an educational reorientation to our politicians towards public policy
I
masters,
completely
not
agree.
not JDs. I am so sick of these JDs because all they do is make things more complicated.
Yeah, no, if it's really frustrating. Like a lot of these politicians get into power, they get elected, and they don't exactly wield power like they should be doing. They're probably just like stoked enough to be into the position and just receive all the donations they can get and whatnot, and just live luxuriously and just literally toe the party line, not really put any thought into this policy or the next. Yeah, they'll probably champion some issues, they'll probably co-sign some bills and whatnot, but a lot of them are really coasting. Like there's a lot of just nameless senators like in Washington to begin with that really don't make waves. They never make headlines. They're just in the background, and they don't ever stir the pot, so to speak. And these are the senators that should get more attention and should get more pressure because they notoriously stay in the background until the party line and whatnot. Like I mean, obviously you have like the big names and whatnot, but they're like they actually like get in front of the cameras and like make headlines and whatnot. The only way to do that is because like they actually make the effort to get publicity, and I think there needs to be a whole lot more pressure on like Democrats in particular to buck the trend, I guess you could say.
Well, you know how big I am on political marketing. Right there, you just brushed up against a nice little saying about the media. And I always am reluctant to use that term, the media. It's just
Hmm.
longer to say media outlets and personalities, but that
Yeah,
is more precise because people hear the media and they think the liberal media. It's like, well, Fox News is actually the biggest cable news station in the country. So
exactly.
let's hold up trying to act as if the media is liberal anymore.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I have a saying. I ran into my writing for some upcoming episodes, and I have: Are you working the change, or is the change working you? Because change is coming.
Yeah,
And I would say the same thing about California politics. Are you working the media, or is the media working you? I am
yeah,
surprised my wife loves local morning news,
yeah.
and I am really surprised as to how little political commentary there is.
For
And
real.
I'm shocked that we're not more, I don't know, I mean, just plugged in. I thought we were kind of more serious citizens out here, but not really because lifestyle is so freaking good on the coast. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, like I kind of really respect the fact that they don't get too overly political because like there's enough of that shit as it is. Like a lot of people are just super jaded and would rather just hear what's going on locally, or just hear the news like straightforwardly, not like a panel discussion or like a twist on what actually happened, or like a personal interpretation, or biases being stroked, egos being stroked by pundits and whatnot. And yeah, like local news actually does a pretty significant job of staying like relatively apolitical. Like there's a lot of good stations up here that I've been familiarized with for, I mean, since I was a little kid. I mean, they obviously haven't gone away, and like there is something to local news that you're definitely not going to get on a national like mainstream media outlet for sure.
Well, I think it's specificity. They can be specific about they're trying to demolish this enormous building in downtown Los Angeles, and there's
Hmm.
protesters, yada yada yada. And
Yeah.
here's why they want to do it. Here's what they want to put in its place.
Yeah.
Financing of stadiums. Like there's all sorts of local political issues that don't really have anything to do with which side of the aisle, unless of course you're talking about another state. But in California, that's pretty much it's all about kind of infrastructure
Yeah.
and tourism and managing traffic. I
Hmm.
mean, that's what really Californians care about. And obviously, gas prices. People are so
Yeah.
sick of California gas prices, man.
Right. It's going up like crazy right now. Like the past few weeks, it doesn't seem to stop going up for some reason. It's like, stop it.
All right, you want to check out Biden's popularity here?
Yeah. Let's see what this is about. Yeah.
All righty. This is Biden's latest and greatest approval polls. Wow. So,
Mm,
started off the presidency strong, crossed about,
yeah.
I don't know, late summer 2021. I don't know. He just got worked, man. He has been on his way. He is heading in the wrong direction. And a big part of
Yeah.
this is Israel Gaza, obviously,
Of
but
course.
and Trump is getting away with murder. I don't know if you watched Kalinsky's episode today about Mouth Trump, but Trump is like slurring his words, and
Oh yeah.
Kyle did this whole thing where he like translated what he was trying to say. It was pretty funny, and but yeah, these are shocking. 56% disapprove, 38% approve. I mean, damn near a 20% gap. That
Yeah.
is unreal.
Unbelievable. Honestly. Yeah. I. It's like we were talking about. It's like what we were talking about on the last live stream. It unless the Biden administration, the White House, does something really drastic, like these numbers are just going to stay the same or worsen up until the election. It's it should be a lot more fucking embarrassing, like, than it comes off as. Like it should be a huge wake up call, especially with the uncommitted vote in Michigan and the multiple campaigns in upcoming states that are also going to like try to pull the same thing. Like, yeah. Something needs to be done. And like, I know Kamala Harris recently came out and said that,
Ceasefire.
like, yeah, like that's like not an uncalled for thing, and like totally agree. Where have you been? It's about time. So like, more needs to be done in that direction if they want to have like an inkling of a chance. I mean, we're still 9 months away, but still, like a lot needs to change. 10 months
I
away.
think, and if these numbers continue to get worse, which I think there's a good chance they will,
Yeah.
the question isn't so much whether or not they're going to replace Biden, but who and when will they replace him?
Yeah.
Um,
It.
I say that because it is unprecedented. I mean,
Yeah.
this is unprecedented. This is the oldest president ever,
Uh.
and he is on the verge. I mean, it's borderline elder abuse what they're doing to him. And
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean the public doesn't want to see it anymore.
Right.
It shows guts to make a change like this. That's what I don't think a lot of people who are like, oh, but it's unprecedented, or oh, it's not who people voted for in the primaries. Like, I don't care. This
Yeah, like come
is
like
the
seriously,
circumstances justify extremity. Give
like
me a
people are
break.
such cowards. Like if Mitch McConnell can come out and be like, "Hey, I'm going to be stepping down as Senate leader," before the election year is even over and done with, then they can make a change up in the White House as well. They can be like, Biden can come out and make a speech and say that he is suspending his campaign for re-election and wants to pass the torch on to whoever else. You know, like in the last episode we were talking about like maybe Gretchen Whitmer and
Kamala Harris
yeah,
and
Kamala Harris and
Gavin
Gavin
Newsom.
Newsom as VP
Yeah,
or whatever.
obviously, yeah,
Like just
yeah.
something. Like there has to be some sort of game plan because like it it's like I I know that a whole bunch of the Democratic elite has to be panicking over recent polls or the uncommitted vote in Michigan or Biden's recent gaffes and just yeah, his overall ineptitude for lack of a better word, you know?
Yeah, his public appearances are just
They're
unacceptable.
just
I mean,
cringe.
they're just like I mean,
Concerning.
anybody out of high school. Yeah,
Yeah.
and they won't go to certain parts of town now, wherever they are because the Muslim protests. Anybody wearing a
Yeah.
hijab, they don't letting in. I mean, it's just classic liberal hypocrisy. They
Yeah,
don't give
like
a shit about it.
instead of like actually making a change, like they'd rather just like pay lip service, and that does nothing.
Are we coming in hot? Everything good?
Nah, we're sounding really good. I just wanted to make sure like it's all leveled out really good. But yeah, like he like there needs to be substantive policy change. Like enough of the lip service. Like people are done with it. Like people don't want to hear it. They want to see actual change, like action. You know, like
Well, why are they
policy change.
not working that word? I mean, at the end of the day, political marketing comes down to word choice. And why are they not working like big change yesterday? Like why is that not their attitude? And it's probably because they've been in office for the last 4 years and they haven't made big change happen. They've made some change happen. They've made probably more change in 4 years,
Yeah,
than a lot of people expected them to.
no,
But
for real.
it's still not good enough. And the attitude of the party hasn't changed. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like this is Obama. This is like an extension of the Obama culture. It's like no, the Obama
Yeah.
culture preceded Trump. I'm not
Mhm.
blaming Obama for Trump, but he did precede him.
Yeah.
And I do blame Obama for Hillary Clinton,
Mhm.
and I blame Hillary Clinton for Trump. So
Yeah, big time.
there's plenty of blame to go around.
Right. Yeah, and not to mention like, God, I just had a thought and it's gone. Um, it's like I forget. It's gone. Forget
All right, well, you want to
it.
get into let's do this. All right, this is a very special moment here. These things do not come out very often. I don't know when the last one
Oh
was, but it's
yes,
it's every like 6 months or so, or longer.
this
So
guy's
this is
so
Aamon
talented.
Animations.
Yeah. Mad Max up in there.
Yeah, I love it. Love it already. Look at this. Look who it is. Look who it is. The Crown of Thorns.
Oh wow, dude.
How hardcore is that?
Right, yeah, it's metal as fuck.
And then there he is, dude, the Cheeto in chief. Who's sucking on his nips? This is how as far as I got last time. Who's sucking on his nips? DeSantis.
Oh my god, that's so ridiculous.
We are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation. We are a nation where fentanyl and other forms of illegal drugs are easier to get than groceries to feed our beautiful families. We have become a drug-infested, crime-ridden nation. We will institute the powerful death penalty for drug dealers. Mothers will never again be forced to watch their children overdosing and hopelessly dying in the arms of screaming, "What can I do? What can I do? I want my child back." We are a nation whose once revered airports are dirty, crowded mess, where ticket prices have tripled. They don't have the pilots to fly the planes. They don't have the qualified air traffic controllers. And they just don't know what the hell they're
He's so
doing.
gross.
Yeah.
He makes ugly beautiful, doesn't he?
Who built this country, and it's hardworking patriots like you who are going to save our country. 2024 is our final battle. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together we will make America powerful again.
I love how
we will make
it's
America
another fucking car in the background.
Again. And we will make America
The
great
inflating
again.
neck vagina,
Let's
fucking
unite
disgusting. Totally Mad Max. My God. What the hell? Jesus.
Like a little the gods would from Game of Thrones.
Man.
The children of the forest from Game of Thrones.
What the hell?
They're just playing off of like Biden being really touchy-feely.
Yeah. Biden looks like fucking Schmeagol from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, this is one of his darker ones, I'd say.
Yeah.
Jesus. I don't know if we have any kids in the audience, but I hope not.
I remember seeing this guy's animation on Steven Crowder for the first time. Like him running away from Masonry. And Sam Cedar.
Oh, yeah, Sam Cedar. Yeah. Yeah, the Vanguard guys have been all over Ethan Klein recently, and rightfully so.
Yeah, I'm so fucking done with him. I tweeted like yesterday about Ethan Klein. Like, it's a shame. Like, he used to be so much more personable, and like he's just unwatchable now. He's just a prick. He's just a pompous asshole. Like, I used to believe in A32, but like he's just like completely lost touch.
Fame will do that, man. Fame will mess with your head. And I mean, the fact that when he was talking about Israel Gaza, all he was talking about was his personal experience and not like statistics on deaths and not videos and just proof of the genocide. I mean, the fact that he's not dealing with that, it's like, you know, oh, so it's all about you, really? Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's
So,
a
I mean, it's
shame,
Jimmy
yeah.
Dore syndrome.
Is that fucking
Bernie,
is that Bernie
bending the knee.
Sanders?
Oh,
Oh
there
my
he is.
God! What
Look
the
at
hell?
that's Bernie. That's Bernie bending.
You tear it up.
That's Bernie bending the knee. Yeah.
Yeah.
This cruel war, it must be complicit in this atrocity. And this cruel war, it must be defeated.
Jesus.
Dark Brandon.
America is a nation that can be defined in a single word.
Nightmare fuel.
That's not that. Yeah. Yeah, I gotta put a fair warning. I gotta put a warning in my thing. Jesus.
But I tell you what, I don't know about you, but I'm going to go to bed.
That was incredible.
Well, there
like
it is.
subtle
That's
commentary here and there too, like
the Aamon animations.
Yeah.
Of let's see what he's got for how frequently he comes out with videos. Yeah, 4 days, 4
Oh
months.
yeah, it's been a
Sorry,
minute.
but
Dude, yeah, it's been a long time.
So 3 or 4. He does like 3 to 5 a year. That's cool.
Aren't we lucky?
No, he's very. Yeah, we sure are. No. Anyway, yeah, I mean, Aamon, it was dark. It's not as insightful as some of his previous work. Sometimes he comes up with some pretty insightful stuff, but
that
I
one's
mean,
a lot
just
more
kind of like
subtle.
The progressive message of just like, wow, so Bernie's not the figurehead anymore. We thought we had a standard bearer, some legendary name and a legendary persona to build on, but we don't.
Right, and even Bernie has always tried to convey that message that because Bernie's never been the guy to make it about himself or be a figurehead or it just make a movement about him. He's always been about
But somebody's got to. Somebody's got to be the face.
Exactly.
Somebody's got to be the face of the movement. This is marketing, man. You have to learn. Obama was the face of big change.
Yeah.
That's what he represented. Not just hope and change, but big hope and big change. I mean, the guy was tall, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a great speaker, and he had all the political talent in the world. It's just when he became president and it became about policy, the special interests and the establishment, the institution took advantage of his lack of experience.
Right.
Sorry, but they did. That's what happened.
Yeah. So my friend Sen, she is in the audience, and she says, my thing with older presidents, if they're going to vote for Trump, he's literally just as old. Biden's 87 while Trump, or 81 while Trump is 77. And she was in tune for the Aamon Animations video. It says, as an animation student, I am so fucking intimidated. And I totally agree. That takes work. That's effort. That's talent right there. And recognized the Birdie reference and says that she had one of those bumper stickers. Yeah.
We need some new bumper stickers.
Yeah.
And we need some new names. I mean, really, man. I don't know. If the Dems lose this one in November, I mean, they're going to have absolutely no credibility.
Yeah.
Everybody over the age of 60 in the party needs to get fired if they lose.
Completely agree. Yeah. I mean, I think at the very least, if we do fail in getting the White House, I think we will keep the Senate and we might even flip the House. But still, I mean, what good is that going to do if Trump gets reelected?
Well, the best you can hope for if Trump gets reelected is for things to just be the same 4 years from then,
Yeah.
and that he leaves office in peace. I mean, it's the Newt Gingrich Obama approach where they really act as if they're trying to work together and compromise or whatever, but in reality, all they want to do is hedge that president's ability to get anything done and effectively run out the clock. I tell you what, one of the bigger problems with the fundamental structure of our federal government is that the presidency is only 4 years. And if it were 6 years, or if it were more of a parliamentary system where if you find, and I also do disagree with what happened after FDR was president, where the Republicans took it from unlimited amount of terms as being a returning president,
because they could
only
be
being 2 terms.
Yeah.
If you once you find a president that works, you stick with them, man. It is so hard to find a goddamn president that works. I know it's a tough job, but you got to prioritize. You got to prioritize, and I don't see necessarily like what are the Democratic Party's priorities for the
Yeah.
next 10 years.
Exactly.
There should be 5 to 10, at least 3 that come to mind for us right away.
Yeah, and I mean, not to mention too, like when like for the last couple administrations, like the majority of stuff that actually gets done and gets passed, it happens within like the first year of the presidency. Like all the major stuff, like policy changes and legislation and executive orders, like first 100 days and whatnot, like all that like happens like pretty much like almost immediately, like within like the first year of the presidency. That's why like Biden had such a decent approval for like the first year, and then after that, just like nothing fucking happened. Nothing
Well, because he got us out of
substantive at all.
COVID, and he felt like that plus a little bit was going to give us a
Right.
re-election campaign.
Yeah, but like time moves forward, and if nothing is being done, like and of course like we had like inflation hit like a pretty big high like in 2022 2023, and it took a minute for that to like actually like cool off, but like at that point the damage was already done. Like people are still feeling the effects of that and whatnot, and like it's just kind of like soured people towards him, and among other things, obviously. But like when you save all your legislative and executive like policy uh, um, achievements for the beginning of your term and not like spread it out over time, like that, yeah, like obviously people's taste for you is going to fall off, especially if you make like really bad moves or you don't publicize your good ones. Like I think the NLRB stuff, the union stuff, like the labor stuff is actually really good, but they're not necessarily championing that. They're not really going on the offense.
No.
Yeah.
No marketing. Where's the
Exactly.
marketing for the union? Union's a big word, man. Union is a strong word in American culture. Union means a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, bring back the Union Confederacy rhetoric. That's
Yeah.
what we're up against, man. Enough. Like, America shows up for a fight. I don't know why I do know why the Democratic Party is so conflict averse, but
Mhm.
it seems like to me, if you just study American history and American culture, what's our most favorite thing to do? Watch football. We watch violence.
Yeah.
Like it was something like 90% or more of the last the 100 most highly rated TV shows last year were NFL games.
Yeah.
And that's what does that say? It means that we like a fight, like we want conflict.
Yeah.
We want we're willing to show up. There's a saying, the only thing Americans will wait for is entertainment. So
Yeah.
let's acknowledge that. Hey, we're the side of Hollywood. We're the side of creativity.
Yeah.
We're the side of interesting looking people with
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
like-
and not to mention, like, I mean, like we've talked about before, the Republicans understand this. This is why, like, for example, they've been really honing away in championing um, the Biden like impeachment shit when like there's literally nothing there. Like time and time again, like if they come out with something, there's an explanation for it. But it riles up the base because like they try to pretend that there's these smoking guns here and there, but when it comes down to it, there's nothing because they want that conflict. They want their base to think that there is turmoil, like that there is like something that they can latch on to and get outraged about, when like that's not even the case.
yeah, I wonder what Gavin Newsom means when he says "let's go on offense." That's what I'm curious about. I'm like, okay, that sounds good.
Yeah, show me what that
But
means.
what does that actually mean? Does that mean you debating Ron DeSantis and saying, "Oh yeah, I had fun tonight"? Oh, Ron, and he tries to take him on. He's like, I don't like the way you bully so and so. I don't like the way you bully so and so. I don't even know if he said the word bully, but it's like, dude, that's you talking tough. Like,
Yeah.
come on, man.
Yeah.
Where's the toughness?
Yeah.
Where is the toughness?
Mhm. Exactly. Yeah. It, I really hope the Democrats really like figure out like this is not the Republican Party of 5 years ago. It's not the Republican Party of 10 years ago. Like, it's an entirely different beast that's just completely unhinged, off the rails, not based in reality. They're living
The only
online.
historical comparison is the Confederacy. The
Yeah,
only historical comparison is the
it's
Confederacy.
literally that bad. It's that insane, and like eh, either the Democrats just are like just completely out of touch and unaware, or they just don't care and they're just going along to get along because they'd rather just be bipartisan and hold hands and like reach across the aisle. But yeah, I watched a lot of both the Fifth Column, and he covered the recent meeting that I guess the White House had with Speaker Mike Johnson, and like Chuck Schumer was there, and the like top figures and whatnot to prevent like a government shutdown, so they can actually get like a budget passed. And hearsay is hearsay, but like according to Bo, like and according to the sources that he like looked into and whatnot, it was the most intense meeting that Chuck Schumer had ever been a part of, and like that kind of really checks out given the fact that like Mike Johnson is unhinged, and he leads a House of Republicans that are increasingly unhinged. They're unserious and don't understand the stakes of a government shutdown just because they're not getting what they want, or what have you. They don't want to pass like a budget bill or and like aid to Ukraine and whatnot because they don't want like in
Any
any way,
wins.
shape, or form
Mm-hmm.
to signal like in any possible way a victory to the Democrats. They don't want to look like they're kowtowing to them when it's just basic procedure, like passing a budget for your goddamn country, and like it's insane how they've gotten to this point where doing the bare minimum is like just it is insane to them. Like it's like a victory to Democrats. It actually helping your citizens and helping your country is like them bending over or giving up or selling out or what have you. It's it, it's frustrating. It's disturbing, and I don't know how it's going to get better unless they all get kicked the fuck out. They get voted out.
You have to remember that the evangelicals
Mm-hmm.
that you're talking about,
Yes,
they
the
view
MAGA
what
types.
you said, why can't they work together? Well, you're asking them to work with demons,
Yeah.
the Democrats. I talked
God.
about this on the Who Are MAGA. I talk about the Confederate Christian nationalism and the
Yeah.
3 steps to it. It's evangelism, soldiers in the army of God, and spiritual warfare. Now, spiritual warfare means against demons, right? Your spirit against demons, evil spirits. And that's what they think the Democrats are, man. I don't think that the GOP or MAGA trash are demons. I just think they're really messed up people. I just
Yeah.
think they're really socially isolated. They're really uneducated.
Yeah.
They're really insecure. They have the emotional maturity of a child. And I was thinking about this. I got to work this
Literally.
into. I'll share with it now. So those of us who, reward the people that make it 45 minutes into this thing, but children are narcissistic, understandably so. It's a
Yeah.
survival mechanism. They're trying to learn their way in the world, and they have
Of
to put
course.
themselves first.
Yeah.
Me, all the time. It's survival. Totally get it. Okay?
Yeah.
If our theory is that MAGA trash are nothing more than overgrown children, it's consistent that they would be narcissistic
Yes.
and give in to these ridiculous notions. Like, if I could ever get the opportunity to talk to Joe Scarborough, I'd be like, you got to get away from American exceptionalism. Okay,
Yeah.
it has been weaponized. It has been weaponized into American narcissism.
Yeah.
And people think that just by being an American, specifically a straight white Christian American, and a gun owner, and that makes them superior to everybody else. And there goes that Lyndon Johnson quote again, right?
Yeah.
Give them someone to look down on, and let them pick your pocket.
Yeah.
And that's what they're doing with the culture war. It's the right wing magic trick, and it's just the answer. The answer is like you have to make elections like Super Bowls
Yeah.
for people, and it's 2 Super Bowls every even year. So you're voting twice every even year, not once. Once in the spring or winter, and then again in the fall. Because it's all about the normies and the primaries, man. If we can't get any kind of momentum with the normies, if we can't, that's why I keep coming back to marketing. If you can't make it sexy, if you can't make the stakes high enough for me to care, then people aren't going to pay attention.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you don't have people's attention, you can't influence them, period.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Exactly. Like you have to excite people. You have to give people a reason to vote and whatnot. Like, and it's especially hard when a lot of young voters, which are probably the majority block of um, unregistered voters and whatnot, the block of unlikely voters, it's hard to excite them when a lot of the things they care about aren't being even like mentioned by any representatives, be it like at a federal level, a state level, or a local level, and like if a lot of issues that they care about aren't even being mentioned, like why should they even bother going to the polls or registering to votes, you know? And like a lot, I mean, I don't blame them, but a lot of them aren't convinced by the lesser of two evils argument. I think Project 2025 is a terrifying thing.
Yeah.
Like that alone like warrants uh, the necessity for Biden to win a second term, regardless of what's going on in Gaza. And I hate that reality. I absolutely despise it because like they don't deserve a second term given the way that they're handling such atrocities, and they're not standing up to Israel. But at the same time, like it's just going to be so much worse if Trump and the Republicans take power. Like it would like substantially, but like that doesn't convince people because they see how bad it is right now, and it's unacceptable. So they refuse to grant power and leeway to the current leaders that are in power, and like you can't convince them otherwise. And like I wouldn't bother doing it, like because I don't blame them. It really sucks, but like you know. You could sit a one-on-one with some of them and say like, here are the levels like on certain areas where Biden and Trump are different, for example, or the Democrats and Republicans are different, and here's why it is in the collective best interests to make sure that Democrats and Biden maintain power in spite of the Republicans and Trump, because they would be so much worse on this issue, this issue, this issue, and like just like I said, it's hard to convince people that when they see just awful shit happening right in front of them that just doesn't seem to change, you know.
Yeah, I think you got to get people to care. I mean, it's
Yeah.
not so different actually from good writing in Hollywood. I always say, if you don't make me care in the first 5 pages, really less than that, then I'm not probably going to continue to keep reading.
Yeah.
It's just that important. Make me
Right.
care. Make me
Yeah.
care. And he doesn't need to be anything like surprising or fantastic. You can be a stakes. You can just indicate the stakes are life and death, or the stakes have something to do with the military, or you can invoke something interesting within those first few pages that doesn't necessarily have to be provocative. It just
Yeah.
has to be interesting. And
Exactly.
then you get into your character, and that's really what I think the left needs to do, is get into promote more personalities. There are some younger politicians I've been paying attention to, or I couldn't tell you their names though. I
Yeah.
mean, I was on I was on a I was watching a video not a little while ago, and somebody said on it that their people are afraid of Pramila Jayapal, and people are afraid of Ro Khanna, and I was like, I don't think so. I think that might be what you want to
Yeah.
be the case, but it's not. And last I saw, both of them kind of sold out to the progressive values because the Progressive Caucus in California is a little bit overrun. I don't know. Maybe you know more about that than I do.
Yeah, I mean, from what I understand, and like I haven't really kept in touch with too much of that, but you know, like they definitely, like both of them definitely play lip service to progressive causes. Rokana, I think, does a much better job. But you know, like they're trying to like have it both ways. They want to like be democratic leaders, and they want to, like get along with party insiders and whatnot. But they also like probably deep down like actually believe in these progressive causes and want to bring them to the forefront. I think Rokan has been doing a decent job when it comes to the issue of Gaza, for example. When it comes to like the issues that Bernie championed like the past several years, when he was like the most prominent, Ro Khanna does a decent job on that. Um, one particular fucking issue that I'm kind of really frustrated about and don't really know any updates on since it happened, but I think there was a motion passed, and it was either I think it was the House. Like it was unanimous, meaning every single person in the House voted to go forward with it, and that was the abolition of daylight savings time, or
Yeah.
making it permanent.
Yeah.
And I believe it was Pramila Jayapal that said she wasn't going to put it forward or go forward, like actually make it. Because I think last year was supposed to be like the last like time like that daylight savings time was ever going to actually change. But she said, well, oh well, uh, it's not our priority right now, and not to mention we get to the Capitol around 6 a.m. and it's still really dark. So if we keep daylight savings time, we want to make sure it's daytime. It's just like, what are you doing? Like, it's such a popular thing to
Like you
find,
can't even get that right. You can't even get
yeah,
that
it's
right.
like
Yeah.
what are you doing? This was
You have to talk
unanimous.
yourself into
When was the
failure.
last time like a unanimous motion was passed like that? It's like, come on. Like, if anything, like I want to know more about that because like that was really frustrating, and we could have had daylight savings time permanent by now, meaning like when the clocks go ahead this month,
Yeah,
like
I know.
that'd be it. That'd be it. Like the
Yeah.
last time it ever happens. I still don't know like whether or not that's going to be the case, but like God, I hope so. Like either way, like
They even screwed that. They even botched that one. That was such
yeah.
a
How could you
slam dunk of an
Yeah,
issue.
no
It was like
kidding.
one of the one thing that everybody in that Congress could agree on,
Yeah,
and we couldn't get rid of it.
no kidding.
Um, all right, man. Well, that's all I get. Do you have anything else you wanted to check out before, or anything else you wanted to talk about?
Nothing in particular. Did you want to do another stream tomorrow since Super
Yeah.
Tuesday's going on?
Yeah, I think we need to. I'm going to be
Yeah.
going in and making some calls actually
Okay.
in the afternoon, and then I'm going to come back and then we'll hang out
For sure.
in the evening. Let's do, because the results. I mean, Let's do later. Let's do like 6:30 again. 6:30, 7 o'clock, something like that.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right.
I got to go ahead and actually fill out my ballot. Me and my roommate are gonna go over it.
Yeah, I gotta go. I
Um,
gotta go to the polling place tomorrow because
Yeah.
I can't find mine. I don't know where mine is, so I have
Yeah.
to just go to the polling place.
Yeah. Once I'm off work tomorrow, I'm probably going to do that. Like just, or I mean, like if I'm not able to, that I can have my brother and my roommate like just like drive over there and just drop off hours. It shouldn't be a big deal. But excuse me.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a complete show if we didn't have one of those.
No, of
dude.
course.
Jesus
Yeah, like it
Christ.
finally came out. Yeah, shit.
Oh, thank God. I was worried.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm super down for that. Because we got like a whole bunch of states that are voting in the primaries tomorrow, so we're going to see like how many of them like follow the same trend as the early states. Um, Maybe see if there's any surprises or anything like that. I'll probably take like either way. Like I'll try to use like the most of the free time I have to actually like clip shit out from either this stream or the last week's stream
All right.
because I still
All
haven't
right.
had
Let
a
me.
chance
Let me.
to do so. But
No problem. Let me just get to Thunderbird real quick because he's my most loyal viewer.
hell
And
yeah,
he says-
Thunderbird.
And he says that MAGA is a Russian psyop. Read Alva Johnson's journey as a director in the 2016 Trump campaign. Okay, I'll check it out. Alva Johnson's journey. And thanks very much for watching.
Yeah.
And we will be back tomorrow night around 6:30, 6:45 Pacific. And we wish you, please do not forget to vote if you haven't
Yes.
already.
Yes.
And if you're in California, vote for Barbara Lee.
Yeah. There we go. Exactly. Yes.
All right. All
All
right,
right,
my
dude.
man. I'm going to head it out.
For sure. I'll see you tomorrow, dude.
Bye-bye.
Have a good one.